What's your zip code? Okay, thank you so much. Um, I was told that you have some questions regarding for the faulty return.
Yeah, so I was told we're having a problem with a buyer just being an idiot and didn't read or look at anything she's purchased. So she's trying to return an item saying it was damaged during shipment, except she's even sent photos showing there's no damage to the packaging. And it's exactly as it was described. And so I'm not I don't understand why we would have to even accept the return to begin with, but then definitely not be paying return shipping plus the original shipping on this. So I'd called to talk to somebody tonight, and this rep I talked to said, and he gave me a reference number and everything, but he said there's a new eBay program called the Faulty Returns Program. And he said that basically to accept the return, and when we get it back, if it's in the same condition it was sent in, then we contact eBay and say, yeah, it's exactly how it was sent, and described, and they would deny the buyer the refund, and we wouldn't have to refund her on it. We would get the poster back and everything and keep the poster and not have to refund the buyer. And it didn't seem right to me. I've never heard this before, and I questioned it a little more, and he said it was a new thing. eBay just started it last month. So, but I started looking online and asking some other sellers and asking on some message boards and Facebook groups and stuff. And basically everybody's saying that rep lied to me, that this is not eBay policy.
Actually, here, that previous representative is correct. Because we also understand that is why we understand that there are really some sellers here does not really want to accept returns, and since we have here a policy for 30 days money back guarantee, so whether if a buyer will claim that the item is not as described or a damaged one, then they are really eligible to return the item, even if the seller won't agree. Yeah, so we do understand that. That is why we have that policy also, that if ever, because there are also some buyers here, abuses that are money back guarantee.
Yeah.
So since if they're going to place on, if their return reason is just I just don't simply like the item, or just say changes my mind and I would like to get my money back, it's also unfair for our sellers. So that is the time that we're going to follow the return policy of the seller. So if the seller won't accept returns, then that buyer really can't be able to open up a return in the first place. So that is why we also consider that one, because there are some buyers here, maybe they tried it on their end first, and then they would now claim here because they were denied on their first attempt under returning the item because of that return reason. I just don't like the item. So definitely they can't really be able to open up a return for that. So that is why we have this policy here, because if the main reason is that they're going to place here that the item is not as described, that's the only time that their request would go through. So since if your claim of your buyer here would say that it said here that the item is damaged, right?
Yeah.
That is the main reason of your buyer. So if ever the item will be returned back to you and it's really the same exact condition as to how we have that one shipped out, then we can say here that this is a remorse reason, a false net. So we consider that one. And one thing that is good here with our returns is that we don't issue any refunds to a buyer directly, because we also wanted to protect our sellers with this with some abuse buyers here that who abuses our policy also. So we also want to protect our sellers by having their items being returned back first. So once the item will be returned back to you, and this claim of your buyer here is really not a valid one, there is really no damages with the item, then we are going to decide in favor on with you. So this buyer will not be able to receive any refund. And aside from that, since for a return, the seller will be the one who will shoulder for the return shipping cost if it's a valid return, if it's really not as described. So since for this is for not as described. So basically, you will really be charged for a return shipping cost. But once we can be able to see here that this is a remorse reason, definitely we are going to refund you on that return shipping for the return shipping. So since you have the item and the refund will not be issued to the buyer, then it's like a win-win situation on your end. You have your item,
Yeah.
you'll have the payment, and you can also release the item if you like it. So that there are still other buyers can be able to purchase that one. So it's like for that one item there, you have two payments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why. Yeah, it was seeming like too good to be true when I was told this the first time. I'm like, and that's what everyone else was saying. They're like, no, there's no way that's right. But
Yeah, it's
wow, okay.
kind of a bit complicated, actually, because we also need to have those proofs also. So, actually, if that is why we have this 3 business day period for the seller to make things right. I understand that there are really sellers that, especially that they really know that this is really what I ship out. I'm really sure that there are really no damages on the item, and they won't really have the since we are giving that 3 business day for this issue to be resolved on their end first. I understand that if they won't issue any refunds yet, actually it's okay because if um as long as since you are really disagreeing with the claim of your buyer, then why would you issue any refund?
Mhm.
So if ever a refund will be issued to this buyer here, and eBay was the one who issued the refund, then you will call in to us that you are complaining why this buyer received a refund. In fact, this is the item that I received. I reached out to my buyer once I received the item, and I told my buyer that this is the item that I was able to receive, and it's really different from what your buyer here is claiming. Then we can be able to reverse and get back what eBay issued for the buyer. Because
Okay.
if seller was the one who voluntarily refund the buyer here and would claim here that my buyer's claim is really not correct. It's they're just making things that the item is like this or like that. When I receive my item, it's totally fine. So if a seller voluntarily issued the refund, then eBay cannot be able to do anything with that anymore because that is on your end ready
Mhm.
because you voluntarily issued it. But not unless if eBay was the one um who issued that one, then we can still be able to do something.
Okay.
Because we have an appeals department. That is the purpose of that, so that we can also be able to help out our sellers or even some buyers regarding if they would like to file for an appeal on a decision on their claim. So yeah, definitely we can be able to assist you regarding this. But I know it's be lot of bit of tricky at the same time, and uh, because we all really need a lot of proof as well. So that is why we needed that open communication coming from the seller and the buyer, so
Mhm.
that when eBay will investigate, it will be easy for us.
Yeah, and like the first rep I talked to, like they said, like they looked at the messages and they looked at the listing, and like that was one of the things they said. They're like, yeah, that you did have that stated, like the description said there was dings and crinkles, and like in the photos you can see the like the little white crinkle lines, like you can see everything, and he said like it's not damaged, like that's totally how you had it listed. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay, no, this is all good to know.
your listing. Yeah. So you don't need to worry on this one here. Actually, we're not just protecting your buyers here. We are also protecting our sellers. So we don't also want here our sellers to be abused just because of our money back guarantee, so that our buyers here can just open a ask for their money back anytime they wanted. So we
Mhm.
understand our sellers here. So that is why we also give them a chance to complain also to their buyers, especially if the item that is really returned to them is really not their item.